Welcome to another episode of the Popko Project Podcast. Today I'm joined by Austin from the band Rex Tycoon. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. What's up? Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. We have some news.
Like, shit. Sorry, you're like cutting out here. Let me try and move rooms real quick and see if that helps at all. Because it might be on my end.
Okay. We're back. Technical difficulties, of course. First 30 seconds of the show.
Yeah, it's off to a good start. That's good.
It's all good. It's all good. I was saying we've got some news, right?
We do have some news, yeah, for sure.
First full length debut album, right?
Yeah. This is our first album, first full length.
Yeah.
We've done some like EPs in the past, but this is kind of the first official full length record.
And it's dropping August 1st, right?
Yeah, August 1st. So, this Friday. I guess I don't know when this is coming out. But
this will probably be a week after that. So if you're listening or watching this, it's available now.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is titled...
It's called No Limit to Love.
And what's the story behind that?
So we kind of just picked the album title. We picked it pretty early on. So I just wrote a song that was called No Limit to Love. And that was before even we had decided like that we were going to do a full length record, being on the record. And it just kind of seemed like it would make a cool, like badass album title to me. And so I think the theme that we kind of landed on sort of towards the end of making the album, was just like a sentiment that, there's no limit to to love and the power of love. Not even necessarily romantic love. It could be, love of all kinds of things. And just that kind of generally the world is, pretty fucked up right now. I mean, it pretty much always has been, but so it feels, hard to live in right now currently. And so it's a little bit of a kind of positive message or spin to, there's no limit to love. That feels like the only thing you have to hang on to, sometimes in this current moment. So
a great message, considering what we're in.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We could use a little love. So.
Yeah. Well, I've heard the album already. But before we get into that, how did Rex Tycoon come together? What's the backstory behind the band?
So the band sort of initially kind of started off as just like a little solo project thing I was going to do. The band is myself. I play guitar and sing. I'm sort of the lead vocalist. And then Joey plays guitar and he also does a little bit of singing. Keith plays bass. He does a little bit of singing too. And then Jared plays drums. So me, Keith, and Jared all met like freshman year of college. We ended up meeting Joey in our senior year of college in Pittsburgh at this college called Point Park University. So me, Keith, and Jared were living together senior year, and we were kind of jamming a little bit. We hadn't really like started the band yet. Like Jared had been playing drums forever, and I was just learning guitar for the first time. Keith was just learning bass. So we were just kind of like fucking around and jamming. And then Keith met Joey towards the end of senior year. He came over, we all just, he kind of, inserted himself into the friend group. And that was in about 2018. We kind of went our ways initially after we all graduated. We kind of went separate ways. But, we ended up, everybody ended up back in Pittsburgh again. So I kind of had decided that I wanted to try and record these songs. I was going to have Keith, our bass player, help me record them because he's like pretty into home recording and stuff. And so while he was kind of helping me record what would end up becoming our first EP called Partial Frames, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but he kind of convinced me or just was like, this should be like, a band. Like, because whenever me, him, and Jared, when we lived together senior year of college, we kind of had the idea that we would start a band eventually, but it never came to fruition. And so Keith was kind of like, this should be the band. And so right around the beginning of 2020, we started to kind of practice officially as a band called Rex Tycoon. Then the pandemic hits in like March of 2020. So, which kind of worked out for us in the band sense, because it just gave us like a lot of time. It gave us like a year and a half pretty much where there was like no shows happening, nothing was happening. So we just got to kind of like really kind of hone in on the songs we were writing, write new songs, just kind of learn how to, play together.
Yeah. Are you guys from Pittsburgh?
So I'm from a little town called Kittanning, which is about like 45 minutes, an hour north of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Kind of like one of those towns where like if you're talking to someone from like, anywhere else in the country, you just say I'm from Pittsburgh to keep it simple. But it's really like 45 minutes, it's a little outside of Pittsburgh. It's in the county up. And then Keith is from Erie, Pennsylvania, which is like, 2.5 hours north of Pittsburgh. Joey is from Rochester, New York, and Jared is from like Western Massachusetts, like Great Barrington kind of area, the Berkshires, somewhere around there. So we all kind of converged at this, college called Point Park in Pittsburgh.
Now, did you guys turn into Ians during your? Yeah.
So none of us have, unfortunately. I kind of wish that one of us did, or more of us did. None of us have like the typical Yinzer accent.
No.
We don't say Yins really, but I feel like me, at least a little bit, I'm sort of spiritually a Yinzer in the sense of like drinking Iron City and like being bleeding black and yellow, being like a diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates fan, that kind of stuff. But
one of my good friends, his name's Chris Abbott. Shout out Chris. He met his wife at Penn State, Maine.
Okay. Yeah.
She's from Pittsburgh. He's from where I'm from, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area, and they moved to Pittsburgh. They're living in Jersey, then they moved to Pittsburgh in 2015, I want to say, and he has since been using Yins, like even in like the text message, the group. I'm like. I'll respond with like I'm not gonna acknowledge your existence right now.
I've used Yins in like a text, and like it's kind of funny to text in like Pittsburghese, so you'll say like downtown instead of downtown.
Yeah.
But I don't really speak like that in real
That's
life.
Good.
But I guess I've probably used Yins like once or twice, but it's almost always kind of like ironically or like
Yeah. I can't tell if he's doing it on purpose to make me mad or if he's like just converted.
He might just be like the culture is becoming part of
him. He's ingrained in Pittsburgh. I think his wife said pop too for soda.
Oh yeah, that's huge. I like growing up, like pretty much everybody said pop.
Yeah.
That's big in Pittsburgh for sure. I kind of at some point in like high school, I was like, this is fucking dumb. And so I started saying soda. And I pretty much, it's just like natural for me to say soda now.
Yeah,
but,
good.
Yeah, everyone says pop around there.
You're turning. I like it.
Yeah.
The name Rex Tycoon obviously stands out.
Yes.
Is there a thing behind that?
There is a little story, but it doesn't really mean anything. I had this friend when I was in high school, my friend Nathan, shout out Nathan, but he just was kind of like a weird, funny guy. Had an interesting sense of humor, and like one of the like kind of bits that he would do, he's just the kind of guy who would like say kind of like random shit that you have no idea where it would come from. And so one time I was just like hanging out in his bedroom, and we were pretty young, like just playing video games and shit. Like I was probably 14 or like 15 or something. And the way I remember it, maybe it happened differently, but the way I remembered it, he kind of was just like Reese, your name is Rex Tycoon. And I was just, that's how I remember it. I don't remember, maybe there was a little bit more to it, but I just remember he gave me that name. And he didn't actually start calling me that. Like, it was just something that, was funny to him for that, like 5 minutes. But I just started using it as like my username for a lot of shit when I was in high school. So like if like my gamer tag was Rex Tycoon, if I created like Twitter or whatever, I just used Rex Tycoon. And, so actually, when I initially started writing music for the first time, when I wanted to do like a little solo project thing, I was trying to find a different name. I couldn't really come up with a cool band name, and so I just kind of said like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna use Rex Tycoon because that's my username for everything.
Yeah.
And I think it actually was a smart choice because I think, like you said, it does stand out, and people usually kind of. And I always kind of liked the idea of a band name that sounds like it's like a person's name, but like it's nobody's name in the band.
Right.
I'm trying to think of an example of that, but it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It also reminds me of it could be like a cartoon.
Yeah, totally. One of my favorite. There's this like I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's like just a dumb like app on your phone. It's called Crate, like with a K.
I think I've heard of it before.
Like stars, whatever, and type of. But we had someone on there like reviewed a Rex thing, and they said the band name sounded like some drug dealer who would sell shitty weed to me and my friends when they were like 15. I was like, that's pretty funny too.
Fair, yeah, fair.
I like that too.
And how would you describe your sound as someone who's never heard of you before?
So the answer I always give to this, which some people, it probably pisses some people off because I guess it's sort of like a non-answer in some ways, but I always just say it's straight up rock music.
Yeah.
Because I know people are looking for like subgenre, and like that's been a big thing for like ever, but that's kind of just how I think about it. Is like we're just trying to make kind of like straight up, very straightforward, like just rock music.
That's exactly what I thought when I heard it.
Yeah, which like not a ton of people are doing anymore. So I think it's
yeah. So for me, it was like very reminiscent of like the Hives, the Strokes, the White Stripes, Ben Queller, early 2000s.
Yeah, kind of. Does have a bit of early 2000s, which like more people, and recently, just even in like the past 2 weeks, I've had a couple conversations with people. Like I was back in Pittsburgh recently, and then we just came back from a little tour. Like I just got back from that yesterday, actually. But yeah, people were describing it to me as like garage rock, and I was like, I guess it kind of is kind of garage rocky.
Yeah,
you like garage rock, so
yeah. I don't want to say messy because that's not the right word, but like for the lack of a better word, it's like grungy, messy, like just rock.
Yeah, it's just rock. Yeah, I kind of get the messy thing. I'm trying to think of.
There's a better word.
The way that I'm trying to think, the guy, this awesome guy named Zach Hobbs, who's done like some of our artwork and stuff, and the artwork for the album. I think he called it like ramshackle rock one time or something. He was like, it sounds like it could go off the rails at any second, but it doesn't ever quite go off the rails.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a backhanded compliment, but I was like, that's cool because it's kind of like what we're going for. And that's the kind of music I like. So
yeah. And the lead track, Rock and Roll Star, it sets a tone right away. Was that intentional with that track?
A little bit, yeah. It became that was one of the last songs we wrote before the album, because the album is like some of those songs are like 4 or 5 years old at this point, but that one was one of the last ones that I wrote, and I don't remember if I started writing it like I'm gonna write the opening track, but I do remember like pretty much as soon as I started writing it, I was like, oh, this sounds like it could be a good opening song. And then that was even before I came up with like the lyric idea for the song. And then once I kind of was like, because I always kind of liked it when like rock bands like talk about rock music in their songs, I think some people find it a little kind of like cliche, corny or whatever, but I always kind of liked it, found it endearing. So I wanted to do a song that was kind of gave me the chance to do that. And we all like Oasis, so we just thought it would be funny for the first track to be called Rock and Roll Star, like on Definitely Maybe. But yeah, so I guess it was a little intentional. At least once I stumbled into the idea, I was kind of like, okay, this is like a good opening track. It's kind of one of the faster-ish tracks on the song, or the tracks on the record. So I think it works well as an opening track. Just kind of has a ripping guitar solo. It's pretty short and sweet, like most of our songs.
Any of you guys get tickets to see Oasis?
We didn't. Jared was pretty, because he's the biggest Oasis fan of us all, and he actually kind of got me into them when I was living with him and Keith my senior year of college. Because I mean, I knew Oasis and I thought they were like kind of cool, But yeah, he like I think he like went home for like break or something, and then he came back and he was like obsessed with Oasis all of a sudden. And he like made us all watch the documentary. And after I watched the documentary, I was kind of like all in. But no, none of us got tickets. He tried to get tickets. I think he was because he plays in another band, and they did a Europe tour. And I think it was like it was pretty close to when Oasis was there. So his plan was just to kind of like he's already over there, try and go to the gig. But I think he said that like he was just waiting in the queue, and he just kind of got fucked over.
I talked to a guy last night. He's going to see him twice.
Really? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I think once in I want to say Ireland. That could be completely wrong. And then I guess once when they come to the States.
I would love to see it, but I just like I don't know. I always have a hard time paying for like or justifying paying when you have to pay like $500 or whatever it is to go to a gig.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I've been to like some shows like that, but it was always like when I was younger and my parents had like bought us tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever paid like more than like $75. Rock that much. There's not a lot of bands. Oasis definitely had me thinking about it, but I didn't. I didn't end up pulling the trigger, especially before they announced the U.S. dates, because I'm like, then you got to fly to Europe. Like it would have been like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
All said and done. I kind of wanted to go to the MetLife show, but I just didn't get a ticket, and it's not gonna happen.
Last year we went and saw Justin Timberlake. My wife wanted to see him, and it was our anniversary in New York City. And I think the tickets were $250 each.
Okay,
that's just too much. I mean, it was $1,000 night, easy, between the tickets, the travel, the hotel room, dinner, drinks.
That's a pretty penny, but I mean, at least it's with it being the anniversary, it kind of.
Well, that's how we kind of try and validate it, right?
Yeah, you kind of justify a little bit. Yeah. And it's also kind of a funny way to celebrate your anniversary is to go see Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, he's been getting shit on recently. I mean, I thought he did it was a good performance. He did all the hits and he was dancing and all that that stuff. But
the whole DUI thing was not a good look for him. But I always kind of liked him a little bit, and like as an actor too. I don't know if he's like a great actor, but he's like really good at playing like one specific kind of role.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like Justin Timberlake a little bit.
Yeah, and he had that diss track for Britney Spears back in the early 2000s. Yeah. That's fun. It's fun. But you talked about writing songs. How does it all kind of come together as far as the writing process? And you said you're in Virginia. Other guys are in Pittsburgh and other places. How does that work for you guys?
So, I mean, it didn't change that much when I moved. It slowed things down a little bit, but for the most part, the way that we've always written songs, I've written most of the songs, but Joey has been writing more songs for the band, and he had a track on our last EP, and Keith has a track on the record that he wrote and sings on too. And I think in the future there'll be more songs from those guys, but so it usually just starts like with, for instance, with me, it just starts at home, and I'll just kind of come up with like the chords and some lyrics. So depending on, I don't really do much anymore. But in the early days, I would usually add sort of a bass line, and it would be like a full demo. I'd add like a lead guitar part, and I would play like a little shitty drum track on the drums at my house. And then the guys would all kind of tweak it to, make it better. But I mean, for the past like 2 years, maybe even 3 years, I haven't really been adding too much more to the demos unless I have like a really specific idea. So usually I just record a demo at my house, like just like throw something together in GarageBand real quick, or even just do like the classic like voice memo on the phone. And so I'll just come up with a song idea, send it to the group chat. Sometimes, we don't get around to actually kind of learning it for like a long time, depending on the situation. But yeah, I just recorded myself, sent it to the guys. And then we'll just kind of try it out at practice, and we'll just kind of jam on it. We don't really do too much writing like at practice from the ground up. Like the songs are all collaborative in like the sense that I just come up with chords and lyrics, and then everyone else kind of adds their own parts. But we don't really like get together at practice and like a brand new song just like emerges. We all, and I think it's pretty similar for the way Keith and Joey write too. Like Joey's demos, especially, like always just like kick ass immediately in the demo phase. So he'll write like a cool bass part, and usually Keith learns it. He might change it a little bit. But yeah, so we all kind of just write on our own at home, and then bring it to practice, and then everyone definitely adds their own flavor to the parts and stuff. But so it's collaborative in that sense, but it starts out just with a demo solo.
And as far as like the lyrical content, are there any certain topics you guys kind of write about? Like, is it inspired by real life events or just the world around us, or how does that look?
I think like for me, definitely like I guess the world around us, but in more of like a mundane, everyday life sort of sense. I don't really write too much about anything that's like super topical to like current events or anything like that. But so I feel like a lot of the lyrics I try and write are, about like kind of just like mundane, everyday life sort of stuff. Like some of my biggest lyrical inspirations are like guys like John Prine and like David Berman of the Silver Jews, like Lou Reed. I love all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like, and I like to write about like fictional characters here and there. Not a lot of my songs really are like super personal. I definitely, it's hard to like write a song and not put any like sense of, your personal experience into it. But I almost consciously try not to like write a song about that's like super specifically personal to an experience I had. A lot of times it'll be inspired by an experience that I had, but I'll kind of, make it a little bit different, twist things, just to try and make it, I guess, maybe like more universal, more appealing to everyone else. And sometimes it's just completely fictional. Like I'll write like, almost like a breakup song or something, even though I've been like in, like I have a fiance that I've been with for like over 10 years now. So it's like, I'm just kind of writing from, like everyone kind of knows what a breakup is like, what people go through. So I'm not really writing about a specific experience I had, but just sort of the collective experience, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
You've had a fiance for 10 years?
Well, so we've been together for 10
years. Okay. You look very young. I'm like, how long have you been engaged?
No, yeah, I've actually only been engaged for a couple of weeks now, but
Oh, really? Congratulations.
Thank you. But we've been together for about 10 years now. So.
Nice.
Yeah, because I'm 28 now, so I am kind of young, I guess. But.
Yeah, for sure. High school sweetheart or what?
Sort of, yeah. We started dating at the very end of high school, so that question always throws me off because when I think of high school sweethearts, I think of like people who were together for like a long time in high school.
Right.
But we pretty much started. It's almost like college sweethearts because we started dating right as we graduated high school. It's like a month left or whatever, because we were going to the same college. So.
Now, did you go over the top with the engagement, or you just kind of,
It was pretty subtle. It definitely, it was like I just did it like at home, and it was a private thing.
Cool.
I didn't do the whole, roses leading up to the bed or whatever, I'm a less is more kind of guy.
Yeah.
I can tell from the music.
Yeah, I did. I proposed under fireworks at the beach.
That's like movie proposal.
Yeah, I mean, she loved fireworks, and we were at the beach, and it was 4th of July, and I had friends with us that were able to kind of capture the moment. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't cost me anything.
That's sick. Yeah, that's awesome.
It was neat. And now, do you have a wedding date already, or just kind of taking your time?
Nah, we're kind of taking our time. We're still trying to figure out exactly how to do it. It's like we don't know like what kind of wedding we want to do. We don't know if we want to do like a super, super intimate one, or if we want to just like kind of do a reception and kind of skip the formal wedding part. It's been a lot of back and forth over the past, because I think it's been about 3 weeks now since it happened. So, We're taking our time.
Yeah, good.
I gotta see how much money I can suck out of my dad to figure out what kind
Yeah.
of wedding we can have.
If I could do it again, I probably would have like done it smaller.
Yeah.
We had a great wedding, but it was kind of big. It was expensive, more than we should have spent. But I don't regret it. But if I could do it again, I'd probably do it differently.
Right. Yeah. It's like it just feels kind of crazy to spend a ton of money on
Yeah,
like one, like essentially like a party.
yeah,
It's like I would rather spend that money on like the honeymoon, and we're also saving for like a house.
yeah.
So it's like it feels like crazy to just be like, here's 10 grand on one night or whatever.
That would be cheap.
Yeah, right. And
That would
that's
be
the other thing. So we've been. I always knew weddings were expensive, and then we're like looking into house, and we're like, holy shit, they are like
yeah,
expensive.
yeah. I mean, I did that. Like, it was 10 years ago actually. We just celebrated our anniversary back end of June, and
Oh
I can't imagine what it costs today. Only
yeah.
advice I would give you is, whatever you do, hire a photographer,
Mhm.
capture the moments,
Yeah.
because it goes by as quick.
Oh yeah. I'm sure, dude. 10 years. That's awesome. Congrats.
But the wedding itself, like the day of it, just goes by, and it's like you sit back and you're like, "What just happened? I didn't talk to so and so. Like, oh, Uncle Jimmy was there. I didn't even see him.
Right.
Forget
Yeah.
that
Well, I mean,
photographer."
yeah. 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 I think that's the move. It's worth it. That's the
Yeah,
one event that it's really worth it for.
yeah, yeah. So how does it feel? You're on the verge of dropping your first full length. Like I said, when this comes out, it'll be out in the world. How does that feel?
It's exciting. It's a little weird because so this is our first full length, but like I said earlier, we've done like some EPs and stuff, and we did with the exception of one of the EPs, like we've pretty much always released music on our own, like we just self-release it. We did a EP with Popko Records in 2023, but even that like came out pretty quickly. So what I'm getting at is we've never like sat on music for a long period of time, and we recorded this record in September of 2023. So it's been almost 2 years. So it's just a little strange for us to be like sitting on music for that long, because we were like shopping it around for a while, trying to figure out. I guess I think it was mastered in like January 2024. So it's been like done for like a year and a half now. But we were shopping it around and shit, and things just take time. So it feels crazy that it's just now coming out, but it definitely feels it's gonna be cathartic, I think, to like finally have it out there.
That is crazy. That's been done for that long, though. Like, I can't imagine being a musician and someone who's creative and having that sitting there done. Like, do you ever like want to go back and be like, oh man, we should change this song in some way?
Oh, dude, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like one lyric specifically that I was like, after I just like to sing it differently live now, but after the studio it's the last track called Jesus Drives. It's like the first single we put out for the
I
record.
love that song. I was going to talk about that. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Thank you, I appreciate it. But there's a line. I still think the original line works, but there's a line at the end of the second verse, where like the family in the song goes to the drive-in, and it's like the family's at the drive-in tonight. Steve McQueen's on the screen. I'm feeling all right. And then after the studio, I don't know when this hit me, but I was just like, I should have said a Steve McQueen movie, and so I changed it to like Bullets at the drive-in tonight, like the Steve McQueen movie Bullet.
Right.
I just like sing it like that now because it's like cool to me. But yeah, I mean, there's totally stuff like we'll just be like, oh, we should have done this in the mix. Like we should have turned this down, turned this up. But
Yeah.
we just live with it.
I can imagine.
We're super stoked how it turned out. So
Yeah, good.
but yeah, it's wild to like sit on it for so long, and it's, like we've been playing some of those songs for so long too that it's kind of like we've always been kind of off on the way bands usually bands will write and record, and then they might play some of the songs before they're released, but just because we've always been so slow at releasing music, like we play unreleased songs all the time, so it's like we've been playing these songs at gigs for like years now, and it's like we just want to get them out there, and then we'll probably just like kind of move on to like new songs playing new songs live.
Do you guys have stuff ready to go? Like, are you guys already in the process of
Oh yeah, we're I wouldn't say ready to go, but we do have a ton of ideas. Like we have like a SoundCloud playlist for LP2 like song ideas that has like I think it has like 19 or 20 songs in it. Those are just the ideas that will obviously be cut down to a shorter thing for the record. But yeah, so we have a lot of unreleased ideas stacking up, and we just got together and practiced in between the tour dates last week, and we learned like 3 new songs. So we're definitely kind of ready to kind of move into the next era um, in terms of like new songs and shit.
Yeah. And what's it been like, playing these songs out live?
It's been fun. Like I said, we've been playing them for like ever. A lot of them, not or most of them. There's a few that are kind of newer-ish that we haven't really played live all that much. But it's been fun. It's been good. I feel like some of these songs on the record are some of my favorite songs to play live. So it's always fun to play them live.
Yeah, Jesus Drives, like it's the last song on the album. And I'm like, wow, this is like down here at the bottom. Like this should be higher, right? Because maybe it gets lost. But is there a purpose behind that? Did you end it for a reason like that?
So I think we just felt like it sounded like a good closing track for the album. Like in terms of like the flow of the track list. It was kind of a tough position and that was part of the reason why I wanted to make it the single. It was actually Damien, the producer. It was actually his idea in the studio. We didn't like totally know what the singles were going into recording, but he was like Bird on the Bricks and Jesus Drives. He was like, these are like the fucking songs, like these should be singles. And we agreed. And it was kind of funny to us, the idea of doing the closing track as the lead single, because that's like completely backwards to like what people usually do, like some marketing guys probably like, what are you doing? Like, why would you do that?
Dude, it's the Wild West now. Nothing matters.
Right. Exactly. So we thought that was kind of funny. And I think it worked out well because I was like, I like the flow of the track list. The fact that, it's a 10-track album and Bird on the Bricks is track 8 and Jesus Drives is track 10. And it was like, I don't want to move these to side A because I like the way the album flows the way it is. But I was like, the way people listen to music, especially for like a pretty like kind of unknown band, smaller band like us, I was like, there's like no guarantee. And in fact, probably a greater chance that they won't, listen to the whole record than that they will. So I like that we did them as singles because I felt like it gave them more of a fighting chance to be heard. Because usually you'd front load side A with singles.
Right.
But yeah, so it was cool because we were super proud of those songs. So it was good to do them as the singles, I think, because it kind of did them justice, but allowed us to keep the track list flowing the way we wanted it to.
And when people hear No Limit to Love, what do you hope they kind of, walk away with?
Honestly, I hope there's no like, in terms of like messaging and thematic, in a more thematic sense, I hope they just kind of, think about, the fact that there is no limitation to love. Think about, things they love and people they love, and, kind of just cherish what they have and be appreciative of it. But to give you a more honest answer, I honestly, in terms of just like musically, I hope people just listen to this and realize that like straight up, like badass rock music is awesome, and I wish more people were just into like straight up rock music now. It just feels like in the climate, at least in like the bands that we play with, and kind of like the whole like indie rock, scene, community, whatever. Right now, it just feels like that's not a popular subgenre of rock. It feels like everything's kind of like shoegazy. You're either like a hardcore band or you're like a shoegaze band, or you're like kind of like a slowcore, or you're like kind of like an almost like folky, like Wednesday, MJ Lenderman adjacent kind of band. I just feel like no one's really making this kind of like straight up like 4-chord, distortion. That's all you need. Like I hope more people kind of come away being like, oh
yeah, it was refreshing. It was like it wasn't overproduced. It was just like this is just rock music. It was great.
Yeah, we kept it pretty raw. We recorded it in like 2.5 days. It was like, live track, no click,
Nice.
like pretty minimal effects on. I mean, even like when we play, like nobody had like we pretty much all just have like one pedal. Like there's like zero effect pedals on stage at all. It's just like I have a tuner and an overdrive. Joey just plays straight into his amp. Keith doesn't really have a pedal for anything on bass. So yeah, it's very simple and dry and like just straightforward and like yeah, that's kind of how we like to keep it.
Yeah. So the album's out, not right now, but it will be when this airs.
Right.
What's next for Rex Tycoon?
So we're planning we have an album release show if you're listening to this in Pittsburgh on August 9th, which is Saturday at Gooski's. We're playing with Jaguar and Attic Brain. So we have our album release show on August 9th. And then right now, the only other thing we have planned for the rest of the year that hasn't been announced yet is like we mostly do like shorter runs and weekenders. So it's just going to be like I think it's going to be 4 days with our homie Sunblock, who are a dope ass band from Albany, New York. So yeah, we have that coming up in October. And that's pretty much all we have officially on the books. We're trying to really focus on. We're trying to strike the balance of like, hey, we just put out a record, like on a label. We have like records for the first time, so we're obviously going to be trying to play shows to support the record, but we're also trying to find more time to write and work on, I guess, what'll probably end up being, the second album or whatever the next release ends up being. So kind of get into writing gear a little bit, and like I said, we have like over an hour's worth of ideas, but we just need to kind of flesh them all out.
Yeah.
So focus more on that, and then also do some weekenders here and there, do a little bit of touring where we can.
I'll text my friend and I'll say if Yins are looking for something to do on August 9th.
Tell them go to Gooski's on August 9th.
Oh yeah.
It's like if they like, or I don't know what kind of are they like this. So Gooski's is like it's a very like crust punk like bar kind of place. Well, it's like one of the only smoking bars in Pittsburgh left.
It's a smoking bar?
It's a smoking bar.
No way.
Yeah,
that might put the kibosh on that for him.
Yeah.
He actually are you familiar with an Albatross?
Yeah.
He was the drummer in that band like 20s plus years ago.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. That's sick.
So yeah, he's big into music. Drummer himself. And yes, I don't know where he is in the vicinity of where that venue is.
Yeah.
I'll tell him. I just want to say Yins too. So
yeah. That'll give you a good excuse to give it back to him.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to share with the audience about the band at all, or?
I don't know. Not really that I can think of. I just hope people check out the record.
Me too.
Follow us on Instagram if we're coming to your city. Come out to the shows. Yeah, that's about it, I guess.
We'll have to get you to Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Yeah,
we actually almost played. We were pretty close to playing a gig there on this week. So because we're pretty DIY. I mean, we signed to Smart Punk to do this record, but we've never had like a manager or a booking agent or anything like that. I pretty much handle all of those duties. So I was in talks to play in Wilkes-Barre because we never played there before.
Do you know where?
So I don't, because that's the thing is that it never came to fruition at like a venue. But I hit up because I mean Wilkes-Barre is a pretty big like hardcore town, Yeah. So I'd hit up like the guy. I was talking to one of the dudes who plays in that band Wild Red. I don't know if you know them, but
the name sounds familiar.
They're pretty cool. It's pretty different from what we do, but it's like it just seems like they play cool shows and shit. But so it was definitely going to be some. I wanted to play at that. Do you know what like the Triangle Club is? I think is what it's called,
dude. So yeah, you're talking about this like underground like hardcore scene. This is amazing. So is Wild Red like a hardcore?
Sort of, yeah. It's kind of like pop punky a little bit. Yeah. But that's the only venue that I know of.
Dude, the Triangle Club. I don't know what's going on. So the Triangle Club, I used to shoot darts. I used to be in a traveling like dart league with my buddies. And we shoot darts. That was one of the places we shot darts at.
Uh-huh.
And so I guess there's like a room upstairs where you could have like if you wanted to host, I don't know, like a communion thing or a birthday party. And I think I think we had my friends and I, one of the friends I'm talking about now, or before, Chris Abbott, and my friend's cousin, they did an 80s prom. This was back 2012. We did an 80s prom. That was up there.
Okay.
So it's like this like open floor, like, and these kids just started doing shows there. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's
so funny.
It's the only venue I've really heard. It seems like a few years ago, I didn't see that much about Wilkes-Barre shows. But it just seems like recently over the past like year, 6 months, like all these bands I know and bands that we've played with before, I'm like, oh, you're playing Wilkes-Barre on this tour. And I was like, maybe I should try and do that. And yeah, I was like in talks with some people, but it just ended up not working. We might try and come back. I'd like to.
They have a neon in the window and it says Triangle Club is good. Dude, I love these kids, man. I love because it's funny that they're doing this too because there's not a lot of places to play specifically in Wilkes-Barre. There was an all ages venue that closed a couple years ago. That was cool. It's called Carl Hall. There's the River Street Jazz Cafe. That's a decent venue, but outside of that, there's really nowhere in Wilkes-Barre to play. There's venues in Scranton to do stuff at, but so that these kids are like, fuck it, we're just gonna like do this. That's awesome.
Yeah, then that shit's the best. And that is kind of what it seemed like. It was like, oh, there's like a group of kids or like that's kind of like lifting the scene back up a little bit over there. And so I do remember I've seen Carl, was it Carl Hall?
Yeah, Carl Hall.
I remember seeing that on some flyers a few years ago. I think this band that we're friends with from Florida played there. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool. We've never played there. We've done like Philly, in Pittsburgh, obviously, and we did play at State College one time too. But yeah, we haven't done like Central PA at all yet.
Cool. Well, best of luck with the new record, man. It's really good. It's refreshing. I wish you the best of luck with it, and I hope people hear it and listen to it and stream it and buy it if you have it available in physical copies. And
yeah. I mean, we'll have records available at our shows and there'll be records on Smart Punk's website. So yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate all the kind words about the record. It means a lot. I'm glad you dig it. Hopefully, everyone else who listens to it will dig it too.
Yeah, I'm excited to post this up and hopefully share it with people who like good music.
Right. Send it to your Yinzer guy.
I will. I for sure will. I'm going to tell him about the show too.
Oh yeah, dude.
The Smoking Thing might kill it, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. It's not a venue that's for everybody, but it is. It's fun. I like playing there.
I walked into a venue like that just maybe 2 months ago. Like, kind of shocked. Like, whoa, this people still do this?
Dude, yeah, it's great. There's not a lot of smoking bars in Pittsburgh, but there's like 2 that people play shows at in this neighborhood called Polish Hill. But yeah, it's a lot of like crust punk and like kind of punkier stuff. But yeah, that's where we're having the show. So
cool.
I think
well, best of luck with it, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Rex Tycoon. Awesome stuff. Take care, buddy.
All right, thanks, man.
See ya.